In a dramatic shift reshaping North American energy dynamics, Canada has been orchestrating a strategic pivot that could fundamentally alter global energy markets. While former President Trump's administration focused on tariffs, our northern neighbor was methodically redirecting its energy flows eastward, away from U.S. markets toward European and Asian destinations. The catalyst for this shift came on January 22, 2025. During a press conference, Trump remarked, "If Canada thinks it can push us on trade, maybe it should find someone else to buy its oil," inadvertently setting in motion events that would threaten U.S. dominance in continental gas markets. Ottawa's response was swift. The Ministry of Energy immediately convened with industry giants Shell Canada, Suncor, and the Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers. According to documents obtained by the Globe and Mail, these sessions laid the groundwork for a massive reorientation of Canada's energy exports. This development's significance lies in its potential impact on U.S. energy supremacy. If Canada's deals with European partners succeed, the United States could lose its closest energy partner and its grip on North American gas market control. This shift represents billions in redirected energy flows and investments. The Canadian pivot coincides with Europe's search for reliable energy partners, as traditional suppliers face increasing scrutiny. Industry analysts suggest this could mark a new era in global energy trade, with Canada emerging as a key player in ensuring energy security for Western allies. This repositioning isn't merely about diversifying trade partners. It's about Canada asserting its autonomy and reducing vulnerability to U.S. political volatility. The implications are only beginning to unfold, but clearly, the North American energy landscape is transforming unpredictably. In a pivotal shift reshaping North American energy dynamics, Canada's response to U.S. policy volatility has revealed cracks in long-standing partnerships. A comment from former President Trump exposed vulnerabilities in America's energy strategy, prompting Canada to pivot toward European markets. What began as diplomatic tension evolved into a restructuring of energy partnerships through methodical planning and strategic negotiations that would alter decades-old relationships. The watershed moment came in February 2025, when Canadian Minister Jonathan Wilkinson made a significant journey to Brussels, resulting in a $1.6 billion agreement with the European Commission to expand Canada's LNG export capabilities to European markets. This deal represented Canada's response to U.S. policy inconsistency. Rather than maintaining reliance on U.S. markets, Canada began developing alternative channels for its energy resources. The timing was strategic. Europe, seeking to diversify energy sources following tensions with Russia, presented an ideal partnership opportunity. This alignment created a perfect scenario. Europe needed reliable energy partners, and Canada needed market diversification. The shift's execution was notable for its careful planning and precise diplomatic maneuvers. The focus remained on building sustainable, long-term alternatives rather than short-term political gains. This transformation signals a broader shift in North American energy dynamics. While the U.S. had long dominated regional energy markets, Canada's strategic pivot demonstrates how quickly these relationships can evolve when political reliability is questioned. The implications extend beyond trade relationships. This move represents a fundamental restructuring of energy partnerships stable for over half a century. A single comment accelerated this significant shift in international energy politics, though the groundwork had been quietly laid in advance. In a bold demonstration of strategic autonomy, Canada has emerged as a decisive force in global energy markets, actively reshaping its role from a passive supplier to a key international player. According to Bloomberg Energy, a new LNG supply route through the St. Lawrence River has been established to deliver natural gas to Germany, Poland, and the Netherlands. The transformation shows measurable impacts. Reuters data reveals a 5.4% decrease in Canadian crude exports to the United States during 2025's first quarter, the largest decline since 2020. Meanwhile, Canadian oil shipments to European nations, particularly Spain and Italy, have reached record levels. Monica Gattinger, an energy economist at the University of Ottawa, describes this shift as a calculated exit strategy. This repositioning extends beyond oil exports. Canada is orchestrating an energy revolution encompassing critical minerals, LNG, hydrogen development, and advanced power grid technologies, addressing Europe's growing demand for reliable, clean energy. The transformation requires reimagining Canada's energy infrastructure. Historically, Canadian pipelines were oriented southward, serving U.S. refineries. Now, these systems are being reconfigured to accommodate new global partnerships. This infrastructural change represents more than technical adjustments. It symbolizes Canada's broader strategic vision. As energy relationships evolve, Canada is positioning itself as an essential partner in the global energy transition. This shift comes as European nations seek to diversify their energy sources and reduce dependence on less stable suppliers. The timing of Canada's energy pivot aligns with broader geopolitical shifts, particularly as Europe seeks reliable partners amid global tensions. By establishing these new energy corridors, Canada is actively shaping the future of global energy trade and securing its position as a trusted supplier in an unpredictable world market. In a strategic move reshaping North American energy dynamics, Canada is executing a plan to diversify its energy export infrastructure, marking a historic shift away from U.S. dependency. This transformation represents one of the most significant changes in North American energy relations since World War II. The $40 billion LNG Canada project, led by Shell and 5 Asian partners, will commence operations by mid-2025, establishing Canada's first direct energy connection to Asian markets, opening new horizons for Canadian exports. The Trans Mountain Expansion project is nearing commercial deployment, adding 590,000 barrels per day in westward export capacity. These projects combined will boost Canada's non-U.S. export potential by more than 75%, reshaping global energy trade patterns. In eastern Canada, the former Energy East pipeline project has been revived as the Atlantic Energy Corridor, attracting European investment. Irving Oil has emerged as a key player, with expedited environmental reviews in New Brunswick. Financial Times reports show an EU commitment of $800 million toward port modernization, reflecting confidence in Canada's ability to deliver 500,000 barrels daily by 2027. This pipeline, originally meant for U.S. markets, will now bypass American markets entirely. This infrastructure overhaul positions Canada at the center of global energy trade, as European nations seek to diversify energy sources away from Russia. The transformation demonstrates Canada's ambition to become a key player in the global energy landscape, offering alternatives to Asian and European markets. These developments signal a new era in global energy trade, with Canada emerging as a pivotal supplier worldwide, reducing its U.S. dependence while strengthening its position as a global energy powerhouse. Breaking news on the shifting dynamics of global energy partnerships. Europe is making a decisive pivot towards Canadian energy supplies, marking a dramatic shift in traditional alliances. By early 2024, the European Union had become heavily dependent on U.S. liquefied natural gas, with American imports accounting for 39% of their total LNG supply, up from 28% in the previous year. However, this dependency proved problematic when President Trump froze new U.S. LNG export permits in January 2025, citing domestic energy security concerns. European natural gas futures jumped 12% within days. This crisis highlighted Europe's vulnerability to U.S. policy shifts, prompting a strategic reevaluation. Canada emerged as the ideal alternative with 3 key advantages: stable governance, lower emissions, and reliable long-term contracts. The breakthrough came in March 2025 when Germany signed a provisional LNG import agreement with Canada's Parad Energy. This deal, delivering 1.3 million tons annually by 2028, could replace approximately 12% of Germany's current U.S. LNG imports. EU Energy Commissioner Kadri Simpson stated during a Brussels press conference, "We view Canada not as a backup supplier, but as a primary partner in reshaping European energy independence." This declaration signals more than just market diversification. It represents a fundamental restructuring of energy partnerships. This development highlights a broader trend in global energy politics: the search for reliable partners in an increasingly unstable market. As Europe works to secure its energy future, Canada's emergence as a preferred supplier underscores the importance of political stability and environmental responsibility in international energy trade. The shift represents a broader realignment of transatlantic relationships, with Canada stepping into a more prominent role in European energy security. reflecting growing concerns about traditional energy partnerships. In a significant shift of global energy dynamics, Canada is emerging as a powerhouse supplier to European markets, filling crucial gaps in both traditional and clean energy sectors. This transformation extends far beyond natural gas, encompassing hydrogen, rare earth metals, and battery components, essential elements for the clean energy future. The timing couldn't be better for Canada's strategic pivot. As Russia's influence in European energy markets drastically diminishes, from 155 billion cubic meters (BCM) of natural gas exports in 2021 to below 40 BCM by 2024, Canada is positioning itself as a reliable alternative. The International Energy Agency projects Russia's share in Europe's energy mix will fall below 10% by 2030, creating an unprecedented opportunity for new suppliers. Canada's ambitious LNG strategy is already taking shape. Projections show Canadian facilities will ship 14 million tons of LNG annually by 2025, with planned expansions at Goldboro and Bearhead facilities potentially boosting total exports to 30 million tons by 2029. This volume would represent approximately 40% of Russia's current European export levels, marking Canada as a major player in the global energy market. What sets Canadian energy exports apart is their alignment with European Union climate objectives. The projects incorporate state-of-the-art carbon capture technology, strict methane leakage controls, and innovative Indigenous equity participation programs. These environmental and social governance (ESG) features aren't just good PR. They translate to real market value. According to Wood Mackenzie analysts, Canadian LNG could command a 10–12% premium per ton in European markets due to its superior ESG credentials. The transformation of Canada's energy sector represents more than just a business opportunity. It's a strategic realignment of global energy partnerships, as Europe seeks to diversify its energy sources and accelerate its clean energy transition. Canada's comprehensive approach, combining traditional energy exports with green technology components, positions it as an ideal long-term partner for European nations. In a dramatic shift reshaping North American energy dynamics, Canada is challenging traditional U.S. dominance in global energy markets. Our analysis shows this could mark the end of an era in U.S.-Canadian relations. Recent developments reveal Canada's transformation from a passive energy supplier to a formidable negotiator. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland's declaration in Parliament captures this evolution. Canada will not be used as a pawn in unpredictable foreign trade policy. We are no longer simply an exporter. We are a negotiator. The catalyst? A series of controversial U.S. moves, including steel tariffs and halted LNG export approvals, which have strained the alliance. A leaked briefing from Canada's National Energy Board warns of significant sovereign exposure due to U.S. policy unpredictability, advocating for rapid market diversification, particularly in European markets. This strategic pivot isn't just about energy. It's about national sovereignty and economic independence. Under NAFTA and the USMCA, Canada and the U.S. maintained integrated energy security, but recent actions have fractured this partnership. The implications are far-reaching. Canada's $1.6 billion deal with the EU for LNG exports signals its emergence as a key player in global energy markets. This move positions Canada to fill the void left by reduced Russian supplies to Europe, as European nations seek reliable energy partnerships. As Canada strengthens its environmental, social, and governance credentials, the question remains: will Washington accept Canada's growing influence, or will it push back? The answer could reshape North American energy dynamics for decades. Industry experts suggest this could be the beginning of a new era in global energy politics, with Canada positioning itself as an independent power broker rather than a mere supplier. The transformation challenges the traditional U.S.-dominated energy landscape and suggests a more multipolar future for North American energy relations. Breaking energy news reshaping global alliances. Canada's strategic pivot is creating waves few Americans anticipated. Our northern neighbor is emerging as Europe's new energy lifeline, potentially transforming international energy politics. For decades, Canada has been America's energy partner, but recent developments signal a shift. European nations are now embracing Canadian energy partnerships, including a $1.6 billion deal with the EU for LNG exports. This isn't just about energy sales, it's a realignment of global partnerships. While America focused on domestic issues and China tensions, Canada has been building infrastructure and positioning itself as Europe's reliable energy partner. Surprisingly, this Canadian strategy could help Europe reduce its dependence on Chinese energy investments. Instead of turning to China after moving away from Russian energy, Canada is filling that gap. The key question: how long can Canada maintain this balance? On one side, there's the United States, a historic but increasingly unpredictable ally after recent tariff disputes. On the other, Europe offers lucrative deals and strategic partnerships. This represents a fundamental shift in global power dynamics. Canada's energy strategy is redrawing international alliances, largely unnoticed by Americans. The implications are significant. If Canada completes this pivot, North American energy relationships could dramatically change. European nations now view Canada as a strategic partner, while growing skeptical of American energy policies. The timing is crucial. As global energy markets face unprecedented challenges, Canada has positioned itself at the crossroads of opportunity. This story will continue to unfold, affecting energy prices and international relations for years to come.